morning from Seattle. This is an early, cold morning. And good morning to Carsten Olsen from Denmark.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
Yeah, how are you?
Perfect. Thank you.
Carsten is joining us today in a conversation about change. We're trying to make a global change for a more well-being for the human race, I guess. And in Denmark, there was an initiative in the TV where Carsten joined. The show was called Real Men, I think. And it got a lot of people out of their couches and out to do sports and change their diet and talk about the habits that you can have when you are not thriving in your life. And do you want to tell me a little bit about that? Because we're kind of leaning towards doing the same for like the world.
To be honest, I think the whole world needs to change for the moment. I think everything went ballistic almost.
Yeah.
But if you want to change something, you have to start with yourself. That is probably the best way to change everything else, I guess. For myself, I had a weight about 160 kilograms, right? And I lost 71 kilo. So that was, of course, life-changing.
Yeah, I bet.
For me. But what happened then was that I got very hooked up on alcohol, and I was, well, it almost took my life. I died twice, and January 12th next year, I've been sober for 5 years, which is, of course, pretty good for me and for my surroundings at some point. But if you want to change, there's only one who can change for yourself. That's you. And you have to start somewhere. I know that. This TV show, Real Men, it's about, I think it's about six years ago they made the first program, which I was part of. And actually, except one, I think they all gained weight and are back to where they started, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, something like that. Almost. Not everybody, but it's close. So it also tells me that it's to make life change. It's not so easy. It's easy for a while, but very soon you will go back to what you came from, and I think that's probably something everybody has to work with. I got a real strong psychic, I don't know what's that called, but
what's the word?
When I'm psychic,
psyche. Like you have, you're strong in your psyche, you're strong in your will.
Yeah. I was drinking in 7 days. Every 7 days I was drinking 21 liter of red wine and between 16 and 18 bottles of vodka. I drank that every week.
Oh my God, dude.
And when I quit, I just quit from one day to another. And I haven't been to anything, not AA meetings or medications or anything. I just quit. And I was so fucking sick for 7-8 days or something. That was terrible.
What happened since you decided now I need to quit? Something must have happened.
Well, I died twice, and the doctor told me that I had 3 to 6 months to live in if I choose to continue what I was doing. And then then I thought it was about time to quit. I had a lot of issues, of course. That's probably how it starts. But the weight gain, or the weight I lost, gave me a lot of other problems, because then I couldn't eat anymore. And then you start to do something, So for my part, it was alcohol. There's a lot of people who lose weight who start to get alcoholics or drug addicts or something like that. So you have it's your mind. It's a mindset you have to figure out before you choose to make a change in your life.
Yeah.
I guess. Guess. And it's not easy. It's something you have to work with every fucking day. For me, it's a battle every day.
Yeah.
Not to gain weight, and also not to start to drink alcohol again.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever will, but I have to live. This day is good, and hope tomorrow will be the same thing, right?
Yeah. So you think that us making a move to change the world forward going, to be a more joyful and happy place, to support people more, to talk about the taboos, to help people connect in a different way so they may not feel so lonely in their struggles, and having the conversation out in the open about what does it take to change and what does it take to stay on your path of that change, and do it like on a global scale. So if you say that the people who joined the show of Real Men are almost back to where they were, would you say that the thing they went through in the show and the change that they went through there were for nothing?
No, because everybody in that program had a life-changing moment for the time they were in they made this TV program, and because it was the first program of that kind, they were like stars for this famous 5 minutes of fame, right? And that was life-changing. It was not to lose weight or to do something else in your life. It was to be a superstar in 6 weeks, or how long it was, 5 weeks or whatever. And that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I've been doing television for 22 years, and I know there's always a backside to the story, right? And I tried that in the hardest way.
Yeah.
To be honest, and if you can't cope with it, or you can leave it at some point, then you can be in a lot of trouble. It was not so hard for me because I don't really care who I am, so I don't have to I don't have to I don't have to join every fucking TV program they make, because for the time being, or for the person I am right now, I don't have this. I don't need the fame.
You don't need. You already have the fame.
But yeah, but I never show up at anything at all. I don't join TV programs at any kind, and if I do anything, I make my food, which is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
I don't dance in television or all that kind of stuff, because I don't know what you have in America, but you probably have a lot of the same things that we have. And when you have seen all the super smart people, then you have to go further out, right? And then it would be something like somebody like me, and I don't want to do that.
No.
So for many people, it's tough when they get when they're not in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And that changes their lives.
Yeah.
Really, really, in a very bad way.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
If I can, that the world's getting smaller because of what we can do right now. I mean, you're sitting in America, I'm sitting in Denmark. It's across the world.
Yeah.
And we have Facebook and Instagram, and we have, I don't know, TikTok and whatever. So the world is also smaller in that way, and a very bad thing about that is that now everybody has the right to speak their mind on any issues.
Yeah.
So if you put something up on your Facebook, everybody can tell you that you're an idiot or something because they're hiding the guy behind the screen. And I think it's a very bad thing, especially for young people, teenagers.
Yeah.
So that in Denmark we had this Me Too. I don't know if you had that. Yeah.
I think we had Me Too in the whole world.
Probably. And we have, I used to say, all these fat bitches, stupid, that 20 years ago was touched by somebody. Now nobody want to touch them. So now they have a Me Too campaign here in Denmark. I mean, we had things that happened 20, 25 years ago. I don't get it, really.
No, I guess you wouldn't, because you haven't had 20 years to think about how you felt horrified when somebody stepped over something that happened to you. I must admit that whole thing for me was very interesting from the business that I've been working in my whole life, because the roles between males and females in my kind of business are blurry in a different way, I think, than other places are. One of the things that I'm actually pushing for in my campaign for change is something called warrior intimidating love, because I find that the way that we handle issues in the kitchen with each other makes sense in the real world also, because it doesn't leave anybody to be a victim. You have to learn how to speak up for yourself. You have to learn how to be assertive. And I think that we in generally lack that in the world as well these days, that people have no self-accountability. They get hurt over little tiny things. It's like people expect the world around to change so they will feel better, when in reality the only way you can feel better if you're the one making the change.
Yeah.
So right now people are pointing fingers at everybody else to be different, so I don't feel so weird. But honestly, you're supposed to be your own little universe and change accordingly to things around you so you feel better and not the other way around.
Yeah.
And I think Me Too has been a good example of, do you choose the victim or not? But definitely, I think the Me Too, the Me Too movement needed to come, because their conversation and the
I agree.
yeah.
But I think.
But not going back 20 years pointing out.
It's gone too far.
Oh, it's gone way too far. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone way too far when we keep pointing to the past.
Yeah. Instead of see what happens right now.
Yeah.
And I also think that there's a lot of good things in this Me Too. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
But everything nowadays will be taken to the extremes, and I think I don't think it's a good idea.
No, I think we need to change that as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I know the Think Different Global organization that me and Aman are representing in this live stream right now is, and the reason why we want to talk to people who have been through changes and want to talk about change and want to be involved in this is because, I think we all agree that we need it. And the conversation going forward would be so nice if we don't have to go back and talk about what have happened. But if collectively we could find a way to look at the here and now and then find solution to going forward, instead of pointing fingers at what happened in the past. Because I don't think you can turn to any culture and find a culture who's so fine and good. We didn't do anything bad to anyone else. I think that every one of us has something horrible in the past that our culture or our people or we did ourselves to other people, or so I don't think we can change much if we have to keep going back and remember what we are. I think we have to like take a stand and say, going forward, I no longer want to drink, so I die. I want to live. I want to be more happy. I want to be, I don't know. I don't know. Do you have a goal to why do you not want to die of drinking?
Yeah, why did not? Well, actually, because I think I have some good things in my life. I have a son, I have grandchildren, I have a wife, I have a career, which I actually can make a living out of. I play music. All in all, it's a good life. Why waste it? Or why spoil it? Because when you're an alcoholic, you will also, it affects a lot of people every day.
Yeah.
Because for my part, it was, I didn't drink during the day, I only drank at night. So I could drink these 3 liters of red wine and 1 or 2 bottles of vodka in one and a half hour in the night time. And I did that every single day. And of course, that will kill you in the end.
Yeah.
They couldn't take a sample of my blood because my veins did like this when they put the needle in. So they had to cut my fingers to get the blood sample. It was, I don't know. I had 2 surgeries in my heart, and after the second one, I left the hospital, even though they wanted me to stay. I just pulled everything out, went home, and I was home for maybe 1-2 hours, and I was lying almost dead on the floor because I drank beer. And it was 3 hours ago. Well, I had a heart surgery. I mean, I didn't care. I was completely, what the fuck. So when I decided not to do this, everything went. Of course, my family and friends thought it was a better me. But everything changes also in my life. Everything got so much easier. It's very easy to be sober. It's very hard to be drunk. Actually, everything is difficult.
Yeah.
And of course, maybe also for my part, it was also to get away from a lot of things that I didn't want to think about. So I drank until I passed out, and when I woke up, the problems was still there.
Yeah.
And when I stopped drinking, everything changed. There was no problems anymore. Of course, there's still problems, but now I can. It's easy to get rid of them. It's faster and it's just easier. Everything's easier when you're sober. Everything's easier when you can cook the day, or when you can see that's also a day tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I was a young kid, I was a really badass. I was in a lot of fights and was a biker and everything, but that I changed that as well. I stopped doing that many years ago.
Yeah.
And then something else comes up. In this case, it was alcohol.
Yeah.
And now that's over. So what the hell could be next?
How about vegan food? How about cooking with me online, teaching people how to do vegan healthy food?
That would be nice.
Yes.
That could, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Oh, I'm so happy. I want to do that. So
That would be nice.
yeah, I would love
Absolutely,
that.
Yeah, sure.
I was so glad that you wanted to join us today, Carsten, and talk about your life and changing and things that happened. We appreciate. Yeah, maybe you want to join us again for a talk, but definitely let's do a cooking thing.
Yes, of course, no problem. And yes, please call me anytime.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Nice seeing you again.
Likewise, Carsten.
It's been many years.
It's been many years. Yeah, I can tell for people. I used to work for Carsten. I used to be a chef in his company when he had a catering company in Copenhagen out of there. It was so much fun. It was a really, really nice place to work. We even had ghosts, remember?
Yeah. I remember. It was a fun time. It was a good time over there.
Yeah, it really was.
I still think about it, and I still see Merete.
Yeah.
Well, she's my ex-wife, but we are still very good friends. And,
yeah.
We often talk about this, and she's having a good life. She lives in Helsingør and have a little business there, and is working with kids in the school who have some kind of problems or something like that. She makes food with them.
Oh, nice.
It's also been some changes in her life, of course. But,
yeah. That's amazing.
But we often talk about this time.
Yeah.
It was perfect time.
It was really, really fun.
Yeah.
It's always nice when you wake up in the morning and you're just excited to go to work.
Yeah. That's the best part.
It really is. Well, thank you. And thank you all for joining us today in Think Different Global. We're talking about changing, wanting to do this massive change all over the world. So we got to start somewhere. And conversations is a good place to start. Yeah. Well,
that's perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really happy that I can be part of this. So.
And we are so happy to have you. Thank you so much for doing this, Carsten.
Always welcome.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. Namaste.
Bye-bye.